can I create a whole new setup without including any cards that I currently have? Of course we can. Let's go ahead and create a whole new 5-card setup that will allow you to travel like a boss without paying such high fees. Let's go. Welcome back to Tito's Financial Corner, where we talk about credit cards, points and miles, as well as travel. Recently, well-known credit card content creator Daniel Braun made a challenge to all credit card content creators, and that was to create a whole new 5-card setup without including any credit cards that they currently have. So I'm taking on the challenge of creating a whole new setup that I would utilize to be able to travel on the cheap side. Now, this setup will not be the most luxurious, but it will also not be the most expensive. As you already know, there's a boatload of different credit cards, but their annual fees range anywhere between $400 and plus. So we definitely want to travel in luxury, but not pay over $1,000 in total annual fees. We're going to go ahead and cover all the credit cards, but we're not going to be doing a full review of each individual credit card, because that would take us forever to get through. So we're only going to cover the main points of the credit card, as well as how I would utilize each and every single one of these cards. So starting off the list would be the heavy hitter, would be the main credit card that I would utilize. And for this, I would definitely take a look into getting the Capital One Venture X credit card. That's right, this would be my quote-unquote luxury travel credit card. Now, the reason that I'm choosing the Venture X over the Chase Sapphire Reserve card and the Amex Platinum is because the Venture X has a lower annual fee and credits that can be more easily utilized. With that said, the Venture X does have an annual fee of $395. The current welcome offer on this credit card is 75,000 bonus miles after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months that you have this credit card. And if you value Capital One miles at a 1 cent per point valuation, that almost takes care of the annual fee for the first 2 years that you have this credit card. Now, some great perks and benefits that this credit card has to offer and that I know I would definitely utilize would definitely be the $100 credit that you would get for global entry or TSA PreCheck. You would also get a $300 travel credit every single year that you have this credit card. Now, the only caveat to that is that the travel would have to be booked directly through the Capital One travel portal in order to get this credit. And you would also get a 10,000 bonus mile anniversary every year that you have this credit card. If you value those points at a 1 cent per point valuation, that would equal out to being $100 that you would get back every single year. So taking a look at those last 2 perks alone, those could easily be worth at least $400 back every single year on this credit card. This would mean that the effective annual fee on the Venture X credit card would be -$5. That's right, we're saying that Capital One would literally pay you $5 every year to have this credit card, which is a great deal. Now, the other benefit that I left off, and that was by design, was that this credit card would get you access to Priority Pass. That's right, you would have access to over 1,300 different airport lounges all over the world. So that would have you covered for any and all trips that you would take. And the last reason that I would have this credit card is that this would act as my catch-all credit card, because the base multiplier on this credit card is 2% back on all of your transactions. So that's right, whether they're gas transactions, groceries, dining, Home Depot or Lowe's, or just paying your bills, you would always get 2 points per dollar spent on all transactions that you put on this credit card. This credit card is so great that I'm actually thinking about making this my next credit card. This is also a great time to remind you to hit that subscribe button as well as the like button to help out this channel. My second credit card would be the Citi Custom Cash Card. There is no annual fee on this credit card. The current welcome offer on this credit card is $200 or 20,000 thank you points after spending $1,500 in the first 6 months that you have this credit card. You would also get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card for new purchases as well as balance transfers. So even though in this channel we always preach that you should be paying off your credit card bill every single month, if for whatever reason you have a bill or an expense that you need to carry a balance, this would be a great credit card that would not charge you any interest for the first 15 months that you have it. The biggest reason that I would get this credit card is for its 5x multiplier. You would get 5% back on your highest spending category every single month up to $500 worth of spend. So that's right, as long as you use this card correctly, you would be able to get 5 points per dollar or 5% back on all of your transactions on up to $500 worth of spend. So for example, I could easily make this my gas credit card. where me and my wife would only use this credit card at gas stations. So that way we would make sure that every time we get gas, we would get 5 points per dollar or 5% back on every single one of those transactions. The third card on the list would be the Chase Freedom Flex card. This credit card has no annual fee. The welcome offer on this credit card is $200 or 20,000 ultimate reward points after spending $500 in the first 3 months that you have this credit card. The other part of this welcome offer is that you could also get up to 5% back on combined purchases on gas transactions as well as groceries on up to $12,000 worth of spend, or for the first year, whichever one you hit first. Now definitely make sure that you go through every single option that you can to find this welcome offer, just because I was able to find this welcome offer when I went through my PC, but whenever I searched it with my phone, I was not able to find this welcome offer. I was not able to find any additional welcome offer other than the 20,000 ultimate reward points, or I only found that 5% back on grocery shopping. So again, it seems as though depending on how you look, you can find a different welcome offer on this credit card. It also offers you a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card. Again, on new purchases as well as balance transfers. But the main reason to get this credit card is because of its multipliers. You would get 3% back on all dining transactions, 3% back on all drugstore purchases, and then 1% back on everything else. However, it does offer you 5% back on rotating quarterly categories, where every single quarter, Chase would select 2 or 3 different spending categories or merchants where you would be able to utilize this card on up to $1,500 worth of combined purchases, and you would get 5 points per dollar back or 5% back on all of those transactions. Now, taking a look at the different options that are available for business credit cards, I do believe that the best option would be the Chase Inc. Business Preferred Credit Card. Now, this does have an annual fee of $95, but the welcome offer on this credit card is absolutely insane. You would get 100,000 ultimate reward points after spending $8,000 within the first 3 months that you have this credit card. Now, this is a recent update that this credit card had, because the previous minimum spending requirement was $15,000. So that's right, instead of having to spend $15,000 in the first 3 months, you only have to spend a grand total of $8,000, which I do believe is much more attainable to get that juicy welcome offer on this credit card. This credit card also offers some great multipliers, but the only ones that I could honestly utilize right now would be to get 3% back on internet, cable, and phone services, as well as travel transactions. Those would be the main ones that I can utilize to get that 3% back. But honestly speaking, the main reason that I would get this business credit card is the welcome offer, of course, but the biggest reason would be because this credit card would allow me to transfer all my points out to Chase's transfer partners. I would be able to transfer all the points that I get with the Chase Inc. Business Preferred and the Chase Freedom Flex card, and I would be able to book hotel stays as well as booking flights utilizing my ultimate reward points. So that ability to transfer out to Chase's transfer partners, in my view, is definitely worth $95 every year to have this credit card. The last credit card on my list would be a hotel credit card. And I know what you're thinking. Hey Tito, you already have 2 Chase credit cards. I know the next card is the World of Hyatt credit card. And you would be wrong. Even though I do believe that the Chase and Hyatt partnership is the best partnership out there, specifically on point valuation, I do believe that there's a better credit card than the World of Hyatt credit card. And that credit card would be the Hilton Honors Surpass credit card. It does have an annual fee of $95. The current elevated welcome offer that I was able to find on this credit card is 150,000 bonus points after spending $2,000 in the first 3 months that you have this credit card. Now, this credit card does have some great multipliers, including 6% back or 6 points per dollar spent at gas stations, as well as groceries and dining transactions. And then you would get a base rate of 3 points per dollar everywhere you use this credit card. And the last reason that I would get this credit card is that with this card, you automatically would get gold status with Hilton, which is their second best within their program. Now, with this gold status, you would receive room upgrades as well as a food and beverage credit. So that would be my 5-card setup if I didn't have my current setup. If you want to know how I maximize my current setup, then go ahead and watch this video right here. But with that being said, I definitely want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this 5-card setup? Would there be any cards that you exchange, or would you leave it as is? Let me know down in the comments below. With that being said, if you found any information useful during this video, please hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.